yesterday you talked about just kind of the quality of at-bats and how things kind of turned a corner for you all. How important is that, just that consistency from the offense, especially going into tonight and moving forward as we go through the end of the regular season?
It's important, and just to make sure that we keep that same intensity, focus, for the last 31 games of the season. Hunter's got a good arm, really good arm, and you're going to see contrasting arms this series. You got power, and then you've got Martinez, who's kind of breaking ball cutter, kind of a finessier type pitcher, and then you got Ladola, who's left-handed and who's got a big arm too. So it's going to be interesting how we navigate these guys, but these guys are fighting for their lives, fighting for a playoff spot. So we're going to get their best, and just expect us to continue to exert that same focus 1 through 9.
We saw that Kiké's been activated. You had talked some about might be a plan for left field. What do you see with this return for him and what the next
Yeah, he'll be in there the next 2 nights. I'm not sure exactly where he's going to start, but tonight he'll be available off the bench, and then the next 2 nights he'll get 2 starts.
When you talk about adding Kiké, you had Yates and Scott over the weekend, Sasaki's coming soon, Camry soon. Does it feel like, with what you can do with the team now, that you made some big trades right here at the start of the sort of home stretch?
Absolutely. You talk about Scott, Yates, you can add Muncy to that list, and those are kind of deadline trades, in themselves. So we're getting healthier. I do, appreciate the guys that have been here, kind of grinding through till we get whole. But it's nice looking out on the horizon, seeing the guys that we got coming.
Is that maybe, I can't speak for Andrew, I know, but is that maybe a reason why you did make big moves as a deadline? You knew these guys were coming back, and they were better than anyone that you could maybe trade.
Yeah, I think kind of if you kind of put it in totality, the guys that we have coming back, what you have to give up on the prospect, capital side of things, that was sort of the bet. You're betting on Tanner, Kirby, Kopech coming back, Tommy coming back, Kiké coming back. So, and obviously Muntz was healthy at that point in time. But that's kind of the thought.
Dave, do you have any update on Snell Baby Watch? Is he going to make his next start?
He is going to make his next start on Friday. They had the baby, and everyone is healthy. So, so that was, I think, baby number 2. So we're in a good spot right now. Thank you.
How do you see left field shaking out now that you have another option in Kiké and Pesson potentially factoring into that mix when he comes back?
I guess the easy answer is day to day. I don't see anyone sort of just being the guy every day. But I do think that with Michael, Alex Call, Kiké, I like having some options and mixing and matching them.
Is this an opportunity for someone to have a really strong couple weeks or last month and kind of prove that it should be their everyday job?
I think each day is going to be an opportunity, but I would say it's going to be hard pressed for me to say one guy is going to have it every single day. I think that Michael's swinging the bat a little bit better. He certainly has handled some left-handed pitching, and then I think Alex Call I think he's just better versus left than right. And then Kiké is a guy that's sort of the wild card in the sense of, hasn't had the year up to this point. The last few weeks he was hurt, but he's a guy that we've played every day in the postseason. So it's going to be interesting to see these last 4 or 5 weeks how it shakes out.
Have you checked in with Muncy? Is there a possibility he could be activated here shortly?
I talked to Muntz. He is hitting the cage today. Feels really good. He's going to hit on the field tomorrow. Ramp up this week, and then shortly, as in this next road trip, yes. But this homestand, no.
What about Tommy Edman?
Tommy is running. He's going to hit in a group today, and so it's like, the hitting part of it has been fine, getting better, but it's more of the mobility piece for Tommy, and So he's a little bit behind, but it's sometime, early September for him too. So he's trending.
Dave, could this fierce battle with San Diego actually be beneficial to keep you competitive, instead of sliding into the postseason with a big lead over your opponent?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. It's, tide is pretty close. But it does, competition should bring out the best in you. And so where the margins are smaller and everything matters more versus, you have a big lead and you're not playing with urgency because you don't need to and then have to kind of flip a switch. That's tough. We've done both, but, I'm not going to say as we're in a pennant race tied in the division, say this is not good for us. So this is very good for us.
You get to face a local standout tonight, Hunter Greene. Hasn't had a lot of success against you guys. He's 1-3 career. But what makes him so special and thus dangerous?
He's a good kid, a physical kid. I think what makes Hunter good, he's a good competitor. He's got a good fastball, really good fastball. And we've had some success, but anything can change in any given night. But I can't recount exactly what kind of led to our success early, but it's a fastball. It's a 3-pitch mix, still more slider, but we're going to have our hands full tonight.
Dave, Gavin gets his ring this week. How nice is it to honor not just his season, but his time spent here?
It's going to be tonight. I think sometime after the anthem, we're going to get the coaches and his teammates, former teammates, presenting him the ring. So I love Gavin, and I do think it's best for him that he moved on and started a new chapter in his career. But it'll be good to see him, and he's having a nice year.
He walked to lead off that ninth inning in game 1, or 1 out walk. How big was that in the grand scheme? Does any of that happen if he doesn't start that route?
It was a huge walk to be able to get to Shohei. At that point in time, he wasn't swinging the bat great, but he had a big sac fly in that game, and then he had a walk. So, we needed every bit of that. So Gavin, even when we were struggling last year after the break or right into the break, he was the one that was kind of like carrying us, hitting in the 3, the 4 hole, and really picked us up big time. But yeah, he helped us win a championship. I'm always going to be grateful.
Is there a date for Roki's next rehab start?
No, it's this week, but I just don't know which day. And my assumption is we're going to get him through 4 or touch the 5th inning.
How close is he then? Will he probably need another one after this before he's an option?
I would say, given where we're at currently with our starting staff, yes.
How about, you talked about the kind of confidence that you want to see from him. From what you've heard, how is he doing in that regard?
I heard that this one was better than the first one, and so a lot of positives, and so I think that he's not quite there yet, but he's getting there. And again, there's nothing more, confidence building than performance. So it was good to see his last one.
You mentioned earlier that teams are fighting for a playoff spot. And Freddie already mentioned that it's too early to scoreboard watch, but I'm wondering if at all how much time you guys pay attention to other teams in terms of standings.
I do it often. Now in the sense of I enjoy races and seeing what teams are doing, and I don't put too much it doesn't impact my my mind for what's happening on in our game, but I think it's fun. I'm still a baseball fan too. All right, thanks guys. Yep.